Welcome to Detectives Crime Stories. In today's episode, we delve into a chilling tale of betrayal and murder, set in Fayetteville, Arkansas, in April 2015. This is the story of Alex Thompson, a successful real estate agent whose life was brutally cut short by someone he trusted the most. Alex Thompson was a 45-year-old man living in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He was a well-known real estate agent working for a local company called Ozark Realty. Alex had a big smile and a friendly personality, making him popular with clients and colleagues. He had a degree in business administration from the University of Arkansas and had been in real estate for over 20 years. Alex was married to Rachel Thompson. Alex and Rachel seemed like a happy couple. He was Rachel's second husband and had a stepdaughter named Emily Adams, who was 18 and in her first year at the University of Arkansas studying psychology. Alex got along well with Emily, or so it seemed to the outside world. Outside of work, Alex loved sailing. He owned a small sailboat named Dreamcatcher, which he often took out on Beaver Lake. He enjoyed spending weekends on the water, feeling the wind and waves. His friends at the local marina remembered him as someone always willing to lend a hand and share a laugh. In the days before his death, Alex was busy with a big property deal, working hard to close a sale on a large commercial property. His favorite drink was a caramel latte. On April 10, 2015, 2 days before his death, Alex was seen at a local cafe, smiling and talking about his weekend plans. He seemed happy and excited about the future. Alex's life seemed perfect on the outside, but there were hidden troubles. His wife, Rachel, had been acting stressed and worried lately. She had noticed changes in their daughter, Emily, and was suspicious of Alex's late-night work meetings. Friends and neighbors found the door of the Thompson house but got no answer. They noticed Alex's car in the driveway, so they decided to try the door, which was surprisingly unlocked. As they stepped inside, something felt wrong. The house was unusually quiet. Michael called out for Alex, but got no response. He walked through the living room into the kitchen, where he saw signs of a struggle, overturned chairs and broken glass on the floor. Following the trail of chaos to the master bedroom, he found the 911 operator tried to keep him calm, asking him to stay on the line until the police arrived. News of Alex's death quickly spread through the neighborhood. Maple Street was soon filled with police cars, and curious neighbors stood outside whispering about the shocking event. Local news stations like KFSM and KNWA sent reporters to cover the story, and by noon, it was the top news in Fayetteville. Michael, who had been friends with Alex for years, was in shock. The first officers on the scene immediately secured the area, making sure no one entered or left the house. Soon after, Detective Sarah Mitchell and James Carter arrived to lead the investigation. Detective Sarah Mitchell was known for her sharp attention to detail. At 38 years old, she had solved many difficult cases. Her partner, Detective James Carter, was 42 and had a reputation for his methodical approach. Together, they made a strong team. As the detectives walked through the scene, they found a hammer used as the murder weapon and ordered it to be bagged as evidence. The crime scene was chaotic and disturbing. The detectives and forensic team took many photos and collected samples, using gloves to carefully pick up items to avoid contaminating evidence. Blood samples, fingerprints, and the hammer were all collected and sent to the lab for analysis. Outside, neighbors watched as the police worked, and local news stations continued reporting on the scene. The detectives gathered a lot of evidence, but still had many questions. Who could have committed such a brutal act, and why would someone want to kill Alex? The detectives knew they had a difficult case ahead, but were determined to find answers. The first suspect in Alex Thompson's murder was his wife, Rachel Thompson. Rachel was 34 years old and worked as an accountant for a local firm called Razorback Accounting. She was intelligent, meticulous, and hardworking. Detectives Sarah Mitchell and James Carter brought Rachel in for questioning on April 13, 2015. Rachel appeared calm, but clearly distressed. She maintained that she had been out of town visiting her sister Nancy in Little Rock. She provided photos and text messages to support her alibi, but the detectives still had doubts. During the interrogation, Rachel spoke about her relationship with Alex. She admitted they had been arguing more lately, mainly about his work and the changes she noticed in Emily. The police also searched Rachel's car and belongings for any evidence, finding nothing directly linking her to the murder, but discovering a diary in which Rachel had written about her frustrations and suspicions. These entries painted a picture of a woman under immense stress and emotional turmoil. Despite her alibi, Rachel remained a prime suspect. The detectives continued to look into her past, interviewing friends, family, and co-workers, hoping to find a motive. Emily Adams, Alex's stepdaughter, was 18 years old and a freshman at the University of Arkansas studying psychology. She was known for her outgoing and sociable personality. Her friends described her as bright and ambitious, always eager to learn new things. Emily had a complicated relationship with her stepfather, Alex. It was revealed during the investigation that their relationship had evolved into a secret affair, making Emily feel guilty and conflicted, especially seeing the strain it put on her mother, Rachel. Detective Sarah Mitchell confirmed Emily's story. Emily described the last time she saw Alex, the night before his death, when they argued about the affair and its impact on their family. The detectives asked Emily about her whereabouts on the night of the murder. Emily said she had been at a friend's house studying for a midterm exam, and her friend confirmed this alibi, saying Emily had stayed until the early morning hours of April 12th. Despite the affair and the emotional tension it created, the detectives continued to interview her friends and classmates, hoping to find inconsistencies or new leads. The pressure on Emily grew as the investigation continued, but she maintained her innocence and expressed deep regret for the affair. The investigation into Emily Adams was thorough, but the detectives still had many questions. They knew they had to keep digging to find the truth behind Alex Thompson's brutal murder. On April 17, 2015, 5 days after the murder, detectives Sarah Mitchell and James Carter found a crucial piece of evidence: a shirt and a pair of gloves covered in blood, hidden in a park near the Thompson home. The detectives quickly assessed the situation and bagged the items for forensic analysis. The detectives were cautious but hopeful that this new evidence would provide a breakthrough in the case. They brought the items back to the Fayetteville Police Department's forensic lab. Forensic analysts found that the blood on the shirt matched Alex's DNA. Additionally, the gloves had fingerprints that were not Alex's. This new evidence shifted the focus of the investigation. The detectives called Emily Adams back for questioning. Emily claimed she had gone to the park to clear her head and had no idea about the bloody items. The detectives pressed her for more details, but Emily stuck to her story. The forensic team continued their analysis and found another critical piece of evidence: hair fibers on the gloves that matched Rachel Thompson's DNA. This discovery complicated the case further and indicated the possible involvement of both mother and daughter. On April 18, 2015, the detectives called Rachel back for questioning. This was a pivotal moment in the investigation, providing crucial leads and intensifying the search for Alex Thompson's murderer. Hey, true crime case solvers. Interested in more real-life murder mysteries? Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any thoughts about this case or have a case of your own you'd like us to investigate, leave us a comment. Stay safe, true crime case solvers. The third suspect in the murder of Alex Thompson was his ex-wife, Jessica Thompson. Jessica, aged 46, was known for her strong personality and contentious relationship with Alex. During the interrogation, Jessica admitted that she and Alex had a rocky relationship. She described their marriage as tumultuous and full of arguments. Jessica expressed her disdain for Rachel, calling her a homewrecker and blaming her for the end of her marriage. However, Jessica vehemently denied any involvement in Alex's murder. The detectives pressed Jessica about her whereabouts on the night of April 11, 2015. Jessica claimed she was at home watching TV and drinking wine. The detectives continued to probe Jessica's potential motive. They discovered that Jessica had recently learned about Alex's affair with Emily, which added another layer of tension and potential anger. Friends and co-workers told the detectives that Jessica had been particularly upset and vocal about the affair, calling Alex a disgrace and expressing her anger to anyone who would listen. The detectives also interviewed Jessica's neighbors, who reported hearing loud arguments coming from her house in the days leading up to the murder. The detectives worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading to Alex's murder. On April 21, 2015, the breakthrough in Alex Thompson's murder case finally came. After days of investigating, Detectives Sarah Mitchell and James Carter found a crucial piece of evidence. A surveillance camera from a nearby gas station had captured footage of Rachel Thompson driving toward Beaver Lake late on the night of the murder. This was a significant lead that contradicted Rachel's alibi. Detectives Mitchell and Carter immediately brought Rachel in for questioning, presenting her with the latest developments in the case. Rachel was in her office when the police entered. She looked surprised but remained composed as they informed her of her arrest for the murder of her husband. As Rachel was led out in handcuffs, she maintained her innocence, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. The affair between Alex and Emily had driven Rachel into a fit of rage. She felt deeply betrayed by both her husband and her daughter. The detectives believed that on the night of the murder, Rachel confronted Alex, and the confrontation escalated into violence. The community was shocked by the revelation, with some feeling relieved that the murderer had been caught, while others were devastated by the betrayal. Emily was particularly heartbroken. She had lost both her stepfather and her mother in a matter of days. The emotional toll on the family was immense. As Rachel was taken to the police station, she continued to deny her involvement. However, the detectives were confident in their findings. The surveillance footage, combined with the forensic evidence and Rachel's conflicting statements, painted a clear picture of guilt. The trial began on July 15, 2015, with extensive media coverage from local news stations like KFSM and KNWA, as well as concerned members of the community. The prosecution was led by District Attorney Robert Stevens, a 45-year-old with a reputation for being tough and relentless in the courtroom. He argued that Rachel's motive for the murder was her discovery of the affair between Alex and Emily. Stevens painted a picture of a woman pushed to a breaking point by betrayal and emotional turmoil. He presented the surveillance footage of Rachel's car near Beaver Lake and the forensic evidence linking her to the crime. Rachel's defense team argued that the evidence was circumstantial and that there were no witnesses who had seen Rachel commit the crime. Throughout the trial, Alex's family sat in the front row, watching the proceedings with a mixture of anger and sadness. Emily, in particular, struggled with the emotional weight of the trial. She had lost her stepfather and now faced the possibility of losing her mother to a long prison sentence. After 2 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for 3 days before reaching a verdict. On August 3, 2015, the jury found Rachel Thompson guilty of first-degree murder. The judge expressed sympathy for Alex's family and hoped the sentence would bring them some measure of closure. The reaction to the verdict was mixed. Some in the community felt justice had been served, while others believed the sentence was too harsh, considering Rachel's difficult past and the emotional stress she was under. Alex's family, however, felt a sense of relief that the ordeal was over and that the person responsible for his death was held accountable. The trial and sentencing marked the end of a tragic chapter in Fayetteville's history. The community rallied around the Thompson family, offering support and understanding as they moved forward from the ordeal. This tragic case of love, betrayal, and murder serves as a stark reminder of the complexity of human relationships and the devastating consequences of unchecked emotions. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Detectives Crime Stories. Stay tuned for more stories that uncover the darkest corners of the human psyche. Until next time, stay safe.